first choice that I made on my journey to enduring success was to make a first choice. For me, it was to pick up the phone. And you know this, when my sister called me and I was 20, 21, and just at the place where I did not think there would be another day. And I chose to pick up the phone. And I learned that success begins with making a first choice. We all can make them. Nobody can make them for us. Now, since that day, I've made a whole bunch of other first choices. I'm curious, what's a first choice that you made that when you reflect, you said this impacted my journey to where I am today?
Actually, listening to your story has made me reflect back on a lot of the choices that I've made. And I think it really, I've narrowed it down, I think, to two, just, based on our conversation today. I I think I made two critical choices in my life. And the first I made when I was a very little girl. The first choice that I ever made was to try to be the best version of myself always. Um, when I was young, I sang I started training in singing since I was maybe seven years old, and I was in competitions since then. And being in these highly competitive environments for me provided me with a lot of discipline, which echoes and reflects through my life now. I was in a competition. I remember, I think it was my first or second competition. And I remember vividly I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I can still remember that day. I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow and I got a second place trophy. And my brother said to me, second place is the first loser.
Oh,
And that sentiment,
little
as my
brother,
older brother,
older
I have two
brother.
older brothers, and my elder brother said to me, second place is the first loser. And in my mind, in my 7-year-old mind, what that translated to was that my family thinks I can be the best. And from that day forward, I made a conscious decision to try to be the best version of myself that I possibly could. And 30 years later, that echoes in my life today. I make a conscious decision to work to the fullest of my potential, whether it's in my professional life or my personal life. So maybe a little bit of a harsh thing that my older brother said to me changed the trajectory of my life. And the
Wow.
second choice that I ever made was that I made a conscious decision to always ask for what I want. Statistically, as women, we tend to negotiate less, we tend to speak up less, we ask less questions and speak up during meetings less. And I am very, very fortunate to have a group of very strong women in my immediate family, some no nonsense Indian ladies that always tell me to go for what I want. And that decision, that choice for me has really helped me immensely in my journey. I can just give you a very simple
Yes,
example.
please.
Very recently, I was up for salary negotiations, and these type of conversations typically would be uncomfortable. It's not something that comes naturally to me. And I remember my husband told me a quote recently. He said that, what did he say? He said, one of the best definitions of success is dependent on the number of uncomfortable conversations that you are willing to have. And I reflected on that quote, and then I picked up my work bag and I went to negotiate my salary. So make it those two choices really have changed, I think, the trajectory of my life and made me who I am today.
I appreciate those two choices and the stories that you lay on them. The story with your brother and how he said that your mindset, maybe your family helped develop this mindset, and then you just innately also had the mindset, maybe the two things together, but your mindset was, I'm going to take that and I'm going to grow. It was like a positive, and you took
Yeah.
it, and to like what you said, I think you said it changed the trajectory. It like really changed the trajectory of that's really amazing to have that mindset of I'm going to take this and I'm going to grow.
Thanks. Yeah, I really only reflected on it throughout this conversation because of you. So I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you to take my memory back there.
That is okay. So I'm going to keep taking your memory here. I want us to go to the second critical choice. Thank you for joining me for our Choose and Become interview series. You could find this episode and others at trishkendall.com. Just go to trishkendall.com/choose-become-interview-series. Or if you have a question or just want to leave a comment, email me, trish@trishkendall.com.